Routine motions.
Well, we see the definition of use. 20 minutes we're waiting for papers. He is not even ready. It's just a kerfluffle. Just pure kerfluffle. Watch this. It makes you wonder, really, is this our leadership? Is this what we have in Canada? We're our leadership.
So, these kinds of games are going to cause more and more disorder as the meeting goes on. Is the motion considered moved, given that we don't have copies of it?
Like to move the following motion with regards.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Yes, I wanted to just talk about the confusion that you caused at the previous meetings, and that seems to have spilled over into this one. Regarding the order of exchanges in committee, where you mistakenly came under the impression that the way that questions and answers work is that the member asks a question and then the witness then gives an interminable speech for the rest of the time left. Now, that is not how the rules work, and as a result, today now we see more confusion where you're recognizing someone who was behind me on the list, and the member's now claiming he had his hand up for 40 minutes. Of course, we weren't meeting for 40 minutes, so that's impossible.
Routine motions.
So, these kinds of games are going to cause more and more disorder as the meeting goes on, and potentially make it possible for any of Mr. Beach's or anyone else's motions to get adopted. These kinds of games are going to cause more and more disorder as the meeting goes on. That unfortunately is the case, and it is going to. It is unfortunate that you are obstructing the committee's work in this way. We all obviously have important work and planning to do for Canadians, but that can't be done if you continue to play these kinds of games, Mr. Chair. I've been on this committee now since 2017. We did not have these problems under the previous chair. He was a Liberal, a proud, long-standing Liberal former cabinet minister with whom I had many disagreements, but he did not play games in the manner that we're now seeing. And what it is causing is that it's causing a distraction from the work that we need to do today and the work that we need to do going forward. And so I suspect that it will continue to cause these same problems if we don't get them solved, and that will prevent us from getting programming motions passed and or achieving anything else that we desperately need to achieve in these times, Mr. Chair. As you know, we have a lot of issues to address. We are the Finance Committee at a time of where inflation is at a generational high, when housing prices have increased more than at any time in recorded history, and when our economy sits on the precipice of a debt crisis.
Mr. Polyev.
And so what we need to do is get back to frankly getting back to the way that committee functions. And unfortunately, you don't seem to want to do that. You're causing a lot of disruption here. We could be doing valuable work.
Mr. Polyev, I'll speak to your point of order.
I'll speak to
Mr. Polyev and to members. I'll speak to your point of order.
I'm not.
Mr. Polyev, you're done. Yes.
So this whole time we are still waiting to have the motion papers, written up and sent to everybody. That should have been done beforehand. And another of the MPs still isn't have working audio or video, what have you. This is, for the top position.
Polyev, listen.
The
committee in our first meeting adopted routine motions. Routine motions. I would request that you go and read through those routine motions again. Routine motions. And in those routine motions, we set up for question and answer time. There was an allotment of, be it the 6 minutes or 5 minutes or how it was broken down. I've been more than fair, actually, in terms of allowing for extra time beyond that time with members. If members would like to change those routine motions and how we do it in terms of allowing for questions and for answers, that could be done. That's up to the members, up to the committee. But routine motions were passed, Mr. Polyev. So we're going to move on. And as far as Mr. Beach, his hand was up from the get-go of this meeting, and I've recognized you as you've stated that you wanted to speak also, and you're up right after Mr. Beach. So we'll hear now from Mr. Beach.
PM on Friday, January 21st, 2022, and D, that all submissions for the 2022 pre-budget consultations be published on the digital binder site of the committee. And I'm sending a copy to the chair for distribution. I so move, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yes, and to the clerk, please, so that the clerk can distribute, Mr. Beach.
To the clerk.
Routine motions.
Just a quick point of clarification on that. I'm
Blakey.
confident it was just an error, but I think he said January 31st, 2021, and I'm sure he meant 2022. But
Mr.
yeah,
my first timing error coming into the new year. Thank you, Mr. Blakey.
Right. Thank you for clarifying that, Mr. Blakey, and for that change. And now open for discussion. Yeah, Mr. Polyev.
First of all, when will this motion be distributed?
So the clerk, have you received it? No. So Mr. Beach, if you can please share the motion so all members can.
Is the motion considered moved, given that we don't have copies of it? Is the motion?
It is considered moved, yes.
And so where is it?
We are receiving it.
This carries on for 20 more minutes. On and on it goes.
Ms. Zarowitz, if you could just check your mic. So
the Liberals aren't even there. As you can see, all on the right, that's the opposition, and on the left,
Ms.
nothing.
Zarowitz, we can't hear you.
They're on their own offices.
So we will have someone call you from our IT side. Can you hear me? Yes? You said okay, I saw that.
We're still waiting on the other MP to figure out how to send the motion that should have been sent already.
Ms. Zarowitz, are you able to unmute yourself? We see that your mute button is on. Yeah, still not working. Okay. Yeah, we'll have someone call you.
Yeah.
I'd like to reiterate that this committee is in charge of billions of dollars.
It looks like he wasn't ready to speak yet.
He had his hand up.
We don't have the motion.
The
What's the
motion
problem here?
has been circulated. I'm just trying to get all the Liberal members to have a copy as well, but everybody should have it. The critics have it in their P9 if they can distribute to all the members that are on the table. I don't have a view of everybody that's around the table at the moment, so I send it to all the critics.
Mr. Beach, did you get it? Did you send it to the
Send it to the clerk.
All we need is the clerk to
It
receive it
looks
and
like
let the
he-
clerk distribute it. But
He's got a whole department supporting him here.
routine motions.
So these kinds of games are going to cause more and more disorder as the meeting goes on.
Have you received it?
I think it works. Hello?
Yes, Ms. Zarowitz. Yeah, we can hear you now.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm back.
Peter,
Yes.
sorry, Chair, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just sending it also to the other members. I believe it's in your inbox. Do you mind just forwarding it over to the clerk?
I have it.
You have it? Okay. All right. Okay. Gabriel, thank you. Merci.
Can I
You're
get
like
a-
Santa Claus,
Could I please
Gabriel.
get a written?
Sure. Do you want to speak to the motion, Terry?
You had already given me the
everybody-
floor, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
You had actually given me the floor, and I was asking to have a copy of the motion so I could address it.
Okay, you're getting the motion. Mr. Polyev, have you received it? Mr. Polyev? Would you like to hear from Mr. Beach about the motion?
When he's back on the speaking list, that would be great, but still don't have a copy of the motion.
I believe it's in your P9, sir.
I do not use that, so.
Oh. Okay. Do you have Mr. Polyev? No, you don't use something else. Yeah, I know what. Yeah.
I'd be
All right.
happy if
So,
Pierre could propose a solution.
All right, I do have a copy